In 1832, this land was still the American frontier. A new world was being carved out of the wilderness. It demanded teachers, clergy, educators, leaders.
Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you, and hear your rolling river this 7 long years.
To help answer that demand, 9 men banded together to create Wabash College. And ever since, Wabash College has pursued its original purpose, to prepare men for leadership in a free society. Over the years, much has changed, but not certain inescapable truths. For every problem solved in this world, many more remain. For every challenge met, many more emerge. Now, as much as ever, the community of man needs the actions, the thought, the courage of independent, free-thinking individuals.
Good morning, gentlemen.
But I'm saying that the romantic cause is a lot stronger than the other, I feel.
Sassafras, oh sassafras, thou art the stuff for me, and in the spring I love to sing sweet sassafras of thee.
Yay, It's 9:15 at the New Windy, with an update of happenings local, state, and national.
And the Japanese have been reluctant to invest in this pipeline because of fear of Chinese reaction.
Of men who, looking around their world as we look around our world, perceiving the world in ways that the men of their time perceived the world, had some understanding which went beyond the men of their time, so that we hold them up as men of wisdom.
Today, as in the past, Wabash College stands for something very special. September, a new year, an old ritual.
From this moment on, you are a part of Wabash College. And for the rest of your lives, both you and Wabash will be stronger and better for it.
You need some help on your program?
I'll just go through it and see if it has me down.
Among all the colleges and universities in America, Wabash College has developed a character distinctly its own. It is a small, liberal arts college for men. It is located in Crawfordsville, a city of 15,000 people in the heart of Indiana. It is financially independent. No government or church support.
Returning student, eh?
It features an intense and satisfying learning environment.
But I just don't think it's a good idea to get this guy in ballet.
Small classes, close relationships, a family spirit.
Friday you can get Religion 9. So it's a matter of, at this point, convenience and interest. Whether you want another poli-sci course or whether you want a course in psych.
Above all else, it places a high value on developing within its students a sense of self-reliance and responsibility.
Religion, you can keep in mind whether you might want to do the aesthetics in the spring semester.
That sounds good.
It works.
Kind of a preparation for how you can handle yourself in life after you get out of school. I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and I had original plans of going to Harvard. But I came to Wabash because I feel that it would be much more appropriate for me as a pre-med, to enter the medical field. Wabash is very good for medical schools. So I'm happy I'm here.
They're really strong on making you reason out things on your own here, and that's going to be a valuable thing going to law school. So,
you have a great faculty here to serve you. A faculty of strong and able scholars dedicated to their professional fields, committed and enthusiastic, but most of all, a faculty of great teachers, men who are at Wabash because they believe in a teaching college. They believe in the relationship that they can enjoy with their students. I say this straight. Above all else, Wabash seeks to foster and encourage good teaching.
Only constant thing in life is change.
I'd like to have a little more detail and a little bit of explanation. And now we go up to the curve. And again, as we've done before, we're going to take a look at that rectangle there.
I have programmed this thing to do French verbs now.
I wonder if you ever stopped and thought about the fact that there are some 3,000 languages spoken in the world.
The object being to illustrate how the reasoning methods of economics can be used to solve business problems and to make business decisions.
Before we do this, I'd like to just talk briefly about the structure of the piece so that we can talk about what kinds of things are being treated in various ways.
Science, the humanities, the social sciences. This mix is the essence of the liberal arts curriculum.
We came up with the idea of talking about this world that you and I are in as an age of uncertainty.
But at the deeper level, when you look at the structure of these, as we've looked at the structure of these examples, then you have a deep structure which becomes very, very similar.
Your close friend would learn a lot of things from you that would help develop their lives, and you in turn would learn a lot of things from your friend. And that's what made you close, because you kind of had a piece of each other within you.
I feel that the quality of education you can get is better here because each person can get to know his professor better than you can at a large school where you're more or less just another number in the computer system. I don't feel like you can really get to know your professors well.
Start at any point you wish, go on through it, and make it large. Move as fast as you can on this thing. Just go to it. Try to keep the line moving throughout the piece. When you're doing this, be conscious of the negative space in between the cans, above and below it. Just go ahead and push it out. Leave those things that you have in there, and then just take this pencil and... I'm not very good at this. That's all right, neither am I. Okay, just go ahead and flap it around.
I intend to show this to you because, first of all, he had a definite motive. Secondly, he had the murder weapon. And thirdly, he had no kind of... Bear cut for a minute. I gotta think. Doggone.
Keep going.
Okay, well, let's start over. And I mean, just keep rolling, but I'll start over. I intend to show to you today, and thirdly, he had no kind of...
Okay, what happened here?
Alibi.
Okay, well,
couldn't
think of the word. You notice anything about your delivery up there that you'd like to work on? You notice that plane of gesture? Suppose we lifted that up about, 6 or 7 inches and expanded a bit, made it a little more emphatic. Would that help?
As long as you didn't overdo it.
That's right.
When we talk about education at a small college, we often talk in terms of the staff, the students, the faculty. But of course, it's all a piece when you're trying to build an educational institution, and you're really challenged to make an environment that encourages young men to be educated, to educate each other. I like to think that even the environment at Wabash College invites that kind of education, that young men are in an exchange with one another, as well as with their professors.
People are very close here. It's not so impersonal as it is at larger schools. I've been to some larger schools and seen them, and it just isn't the same.
Oh, I see you were, but now you ain't, Sandra.
Oh, Mr. Starbuck, you've got more gall.
Wait a minute.
You go up here with Starbuck, wherever Starbuck is, and just be sure that you're far enough upstage of him so that you're not blocking him from out here, okay?
If they get wet, they're gonna sort of go.
Everybody out, we gotta push it to start it.
Programs here. I don't know, that's, well, 2.8 or above here. And I gotta work on. Oh, really? Well. Viva Viva sempre, deve dove so deriva la primata seduta.
Well, education, of course, must take place at a given time and at a given place. But at Wabash, we think an education is successful just so far as it takes a man beyond that single place, gives him a sense of the forces that have shaped him and his society, given him a notion of why he is what he is, the forces that have made him, and give him a sense of where he can go, of what powers he has himself.
One of the doctors of the NASA space program was Keith Baird, Wabash, 1956. He now has a private practice in Crawfordsville.
Liberal arts education is just that, an education, not training. For my work down at NASA, for instance, there was no schooling or training. One had to be educated and then deal with the problems of going to the moon and coming back, the quarantine, and a lot of other things that people had never done before. Every patient I see is unique. They don't all fit the textbook explanation of disease, and so one has to be educated and manipulate the facts to deal with the situation as it occurs. And I believe a liberal arts background is an advantage to a physician in his day-to-day practice of medicine.
Sloan House YMCA, New York City. Executive Director Frank Mullen, an ordained minister, graduate of Yale Divinity School, presently a Yale Research Fellow, Wabash class of '53.
Wabash College, I think, gave me a direction in life. When I went there from a small Hoosier town, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And some of those great professors helped me find a direction, a motivation, a reason for living.
What Wabash taught me was to know where to look for things that you had to know, as simple as that, and how to use what you had to know. Someone has said liberal arts is answered to two questions. What do you mean, and how do you know? And you learn those things in the liberal arts college.
Creator of Mary Worth, Steve Roper, Carrie Drake, Alan Saunders, class of 1920. Cartoonist, writer, man of letters.
Put yourself in enough different fields that you're not afraid to try a new field. And I certainly tried a new one in a rather precarious field in going into syndicated comic strips. But I went into it with a good deal of confidence, more than I possibly should have, because of the experience I had had at Wabash in a liberal arts course.
The Honorable David W. Peck, Wabash, 1922. Harvard Law, Assistant U.S. Attorney, Justice of the Supreme Court of New York. Senior partner, Sullivan and Cromwell.
The law is concerned with every field of human activity. Therefore, the lawyer must be a man or a woman who is broadly based in all fields of knowledge and of all human life. And a liberal education is the very foundation of that kind of knowledge and professional equipment.
Eugene N. Beasley, class of 1929, formerly chairman and chief executive officer, Eli Lilly and Company, now president and director of Lilly Endowment.
Senior corporate executives in the business world today, in my opinion, should be generalists. By that I mean that they should be able to have knowledge of problems varying all the way from finance to business law to research to marketing problems, government relations, or any of the other wide variety of problems that face a corporation in the climate in which we are living today. In my judgment, there is no better training at the college level for later handling of problems like I have described in the business world than a liberal arts education.
My best memories, of course, are those few individuals who took education itself beyond the system and spoke directly to content. Dr. Osborne, Dr. Gronert, Warren Roberts, those singular professors who cared about their subjects, not about the system. They couldn't have cared less about the abstract problems of education. And in not caring about the abstract problems of education, they achieved education.
Jim Good, journalist, magazine editor, publisher, film producer, class of 1949.
The most valuable possession you can have as a magazine editor is, I suppose, a sense of history or perspective. And the only way you can acquire that is in a liberal arts college, and preferably a small one, because I submit that that can't occur in a mass educational process.
Some traditions are invaluable. Today, a century and a half after its founding, Wabash College continues to stand for a way of life. Character, independence, excellence. The wisdom of the past, a vision of the future. It is a way of life too precious to lose for ourselves, for our children, and for generations yet to come.
Gentlemen, your business here is learning. You are now part of the Wabash community. We'll be with you all the way. The rest is up to you. I was reading in the archives room and I came across this book, Wabash College Semi-Centennial 1832-1882. And in it was an address by Dr. Tuttle, the then president of the college. And he spoke of a bell. Just hear its voice, he said. And obviously he rang the bell at that moment. The men that used it are gone. And even the boys for whom it rung out the summons to get up and to be at duty have most of them gone to the long home. And those that remain have cracks in their voices which tell of age. But this bell is as sound as when it was cast, and its tones as clear as when it tapped the sounds of duty near half a century ago. So my final duty is to ring the bell that Caleb Mills rang on December 3rd, 1833, and announce the commencement of this year and welcome the class of 19.